Good evening, Danvers. This is Mark Zuberek with the topics of the town. And I have the April 25th, 2024 show. And we have two special guests today. Tony Betancourt, who's a stand-in all the time.
Exactly.
And Damien Anketel, who is a candidate for the state senate seat in our district.
Hello, Danvers, and thank you for having me, Mark.
Well, you're welcome. We were supposed to have additional members, but what I put together is a brief statement, and I'd like to just read it for a very quick response. It takes courage and vision to become a candidate for the select board or the school committee or state legislature. It does not matter whether you are long-term incumbent or a fresh candidate. It takes a commitment and fortitude to provide leadership for the community we all cherish. This community will embark on a review and update of our established charter and the form of government. However, the state legislative body will remain the same. We need leadership and conviction to have a responsive government to our residents and taxpayers. Topic of the Town News has invited in the past the candidates for all of the elected offices. And what we're going to do today is, for the last time, give a brief introduction into the candidates and their experience level. We have elections coming up on May 7th, 2024, but we also have state elections. So this will be a transition from local town elections to the state primaries and elections that are becoming. And I think the primaries are in September.
That is correct.
And the official presidential and state elections are going to be November 4th, I believe. 5th. Well, I was close. That's all right. I'm always early. So thank you very much for being here, both of you. Michael Bean was supposed to be here, but we'll talk about him. That's all we can do.
Exactly.
And
It's the best time to talk about him behind his back.
Well, that's we'll volunteer him for something.
Absolutely.
Maybe he'll get elected and he's going to have to face the music. The program is dedicated to a transition from town elections to mass state elections, like I said, and the agenda and opinions are solely by the topics of the town host, our guests, contributors, and commentators. Our elected leaders would like to have us believe that everything we need to know is on the town website. That's how close they want to keep the information. Well, you only find out what they want you to know. There are only a few issues worth fighting for because the external forces are created to surpass our vision. We have a very brief clip that I want to go through, and we'll comment about it later, but it's a transition to state government, and what has happened in California will probably happen in Massachusetts.
I hope not.
So Norm, if we can, please, Owen, I'm calling Norm. I don't know who Norm is. Owen, please run the video.
So goes the nation. Once, this was a glowing compliment. Now, it's a cautionary tale. If America goes California, it's in big trouble. This is a strange thing to say because California is as close to paradise as you can get to on this earth. Its moderate, temperate climate is almost unrivaled. It's home to two of the world's best natural harbors. If outdoor recreation is your thing, you can ski or surf, scuba dive or sail, hike in the redwoods or climb Half Dome, all within a couple hours' drive. Just about the only thing wrong with California, from a natural point of view, are the earthquakes. But those are infrequent, and their bad effects can be mitigated by sound building practices. The other disasters you hear about in the news, droughts and fires mostly, are natural to be sure, but also manageable by human ingenuity. Irrigation, water storage, forest management, and the like, all of which activists have not merely been neglecting, but actively opposing. And there you have, in a nutshell, the triumph and tragedy of California. The greatest spot on Earth for human habitation, a veritable Garden of Eden, is in danger of becoming a garbage dump, thanks to Californians. The decline did not happen overnight. For a century or more, those who settled there, not just from other parts of America, but from all over the world, built the state into an economic, cultural, and technological powerhouse and middle-class paradise. But for the last generation, they've been busily screwing it up. Given the state's enormous natural advantages, combined with the layers of sophisticated infrastructure and institutions built up over 6 generations, this was no easy task. But Californians, being a resourceful people, have managed. The richest state in the Union now has the most poverty. The former middle-class paradise now suffers from stratospheric housing costs and overall cost of living. The place where car culture was invented has the country's highest gas prices by a lot. Crime is out of control. Huge sections of San Francisco and Los Angeles are virtual no-go zones. Open-air drug markets abound. Authorities do nothing. Or, if the police do make arrests, the prosecutors simply let everyone go. Stores are closing all over, citing rampant theft. The culture is suffocating. Carry the wrong type of shopping bag, drink through the wrong kind of straw, or call someone the wrong pronoun and expect to be ostracized or worse. The public schools, lavishly funded, are abysmal. And of course, the taxes, especially sales and income, are among the highest in the nation. California has come a long way, and not a good way, from the paradise the Beach Boys sang about in the 1960s, or even the Baywatch image of the 1990s. How did it happen? Bad policy. Some of it active, some passive, all of it deliberate. The active includes draconian zoning, one-sided labor laws, and environmental regulations that make it extremely difficult to build new homes or new businesses. The passive includes, above all, ignoring immigration laws. California is a sanctuary state. The passive and active often combine. California politicians and businesses have actually encouraged illegal immigration for a generation. Politicians for the votes, businesses to keep wages down. If it weren't for the weather, the only thing politicians can't screw up, the state today would have little to recommend it. What is to be done? It's tempting to do nothing. Just let it go. If this is what those left coast loonies want, let them have it. And yet, California is still a part of America, part of our country and our civilization. It was a huge asset to the nation and could be again if, and it's a big if, sane leadership were once again to take charge. What would that require? Simple. California voters would need to vote out the frauds and posers who are currently running their lives and ruining their state. To do that, they'd need to rethink some of their most cherished opinions. Simple, but not easy. There are signs of change, though. In early 2022, voters in ultra-left San Francisco recalled, by overwhelming margins, 3 ultra-left members of their school board. Let-em-go DAs in the North and South have faced serious recall attempts, some with establishment and Hollywood money behind them. These are positive signs. It will take a lot more. But change could happen. And if it does, then California could be the Golden State once again, a model for the nation. I was born, raised, and educated there. If I lived there now, I might be cautiously optimistic. But I'd also be browsing real estate ads in Texas, Florida, and Tennessee. I'm Michael Anton, lecturer in politics at Hillsdale College's Washington, D.C. campus, and author of The Stakes, America at the Point of No Return, for Prager University.
Thank you, Owen, for showing us our infamous clip. But it was all about California. But if you look at and listen to the details that are happening in California or have happened in California, we are on the road of destruction in the state of Massachusetts and in the states of New England because our elected politicians are not reflective of what the population wants. So we'll be talking about some of these with Damien here, and we have also reflected on our own community in Danvers, which is a microscopic community compared to the state of California, but we are having the same issues. Recall petition going up for the third time, and we can't get it through our town meeting because people don't or are afraid of being recalled, and that's where our elected officials need to either stand up or go away with elections that are coming across. Tony?
But that recall thing is really not that bad. I mean, if you look at it, the way it's a lot of work. I mean, to have that done, collect all the signatures and stuff like that.
It's very serious information.
Exactly. It's a good thing to have in place, though, in case you need it, in case for a reason, God forbid, that we need it for one reason or another. It's definitely, we should have it. So I'm concerned.
So what I want to show again, my infamous Albert Einstein clip, I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. Now, I want to pursue this matter a little further, but I want to introduce the second clip that I've been using, and there you go. The greatest weapon is not a gun or a bomb. It is the control of information. To control the world's information is to manipulate all the minds that consume it.
That's what seems to be happening in this country today. It's sad.
That is happening, but I have found another little tidbit that relies on this. I'm getting this as a quote from articles that I've been reading, and it says U.S. lawmakers and power brokers across the United States were proud to announce that America's transition to being an idiocracy is currently running well ahead of schedule. This goes back to my Einstein quote of a bunch of idiots because we cannot communicate. Mm-hmm. The shift that has been in progress for several decades but has made significant advancements in recent years with many members of Congress, our own legislative town meeting, our legislation in the State House, now fully on board and operating as key members of the country's idiocratic government. I hate to say this, but it applies to whatever we're doing in our own community, our own state, and our own federal leadership that has been happening in our years.
All right, let me give you just one scenario quick, okay? Under the other administration that was here before, I remember I paid $1.34 for gas, okay, under that administration, okay? That was up in Lawrence at a gas station. Today, take a look, it's $3.49, okay, right down the street. I mean, look at how much of a change it's been in just the last, 3.5 years? I mean, something's wrong. I mean, there's no question in my mind. We can't keep going this way. And that drives everything. And that drives everything.
It's the policies that have been established. Right. However, our local governments, whether it's town or state, have followed suit with this. Mm-hmm. And
people's money is going to run out unless you rob a bank.
And there's a very infamous quote here. We've become morons much more quickly than we anticipated, said Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Though it is initially seemed like an impossible feat, our hard work to turn the United States into a nation governed by total imbeciles is nearly complete. So we're seeing the trend locally and into our state government, but the federal government seems to have accomplished what their roles are. So that's my comment for the future, and I stick to it.
Don't be idiots.
And
That's the thing.
And what's true too, what you see in the federal level, it's coming down to our local level. We're getting the same thing here. I mean, it's sad, you know. I mean,
So the main thrust of our presentation tonight is to discuss the candidates for the select board.
okay.
Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to move on from local elections into the state elections.
Right.
The key elections in our town are the select board and the school committee. The school committee, there is no election. There's volunteers that have come out of the woodwork, and we don't know who they are, and what they can do for us, because they have become part of the establishment already.
That's what it seems like.
So the key candidates are Gardner Trask, who's an 18-year incumbent, and it's time for a change.
He's done a good job. I think it's time for him to move on.
There you go. Matthew Duggan, another incumbent, 3 years.
But he's trying. You got to give him credit.
He has
They were even attacking him. I think his ideas are good. He's been attacked. Okay, as far as I'm concerned. Okay.
he has
needs-
tried to
Yes.
include himself in the discussions at the board meetings,
In my eyes, yes.
and the board has basically silenced him because
It's tough being a lone wolf.
oh, I know the drill. I was there for 6 years like that. I was in that chair where Matt is sitting right now. But it is time for a change in there as
As far as
well.
I'm concerned, yes, I hope so, and I hope in the right direction.
The third candidate is D. Joko. He's a very nice individual,
Yes.
but his primary objective is DEI. And he has been very diversity, equity, and inclusion,
Yes.
which
There's a little bit
is
too much of that right now, as far as I'm concerned.
that's right. And that's okay. But let's see if the residents of Danvers,
This town is not racist in any way or anything like that. We've always been a nice, well-run town. I mean, that's why I think they're making stuff up and making us look bad for different ways, as far as I'm concerned.
and this is a short-term resident in the town of Danvers, well established. He's run for town meeting in precinct 8, and now he's in 6. But he's also one focus, DEI, and his experience has been in the health care field, professional serving with the Danvers Board of Health, and committed to all aspects of building a healthy and strong town. That's fine. Let's see how he performs. We have tried to get a forum set up for the town election for May 7th. However, none of the candidates wanted to
They wanted the
appear
questions up front. You wouldn't give them to them.
Well, that's the first thing I was asked. Can I have the questions in advance? And there's no.
What kind of forum is that?
That's a Democrat
nice.
forum.
Another thing about him too is he's a supporter of the change of the master plan for the planning board. So he's actually in favor of what's happening downtown with those massive buildings that are going to be built from all the way down High Street
High
to
Street,
that
right?
Route 1. You know, the change that he's a supporter of. You know, God, I can't even think of it. Danvers Hardware Store becoming a 6-story tower.
It's only going 3 stories, but I mean, it's
This is not. It's going up high. It's going up 6.
It
No,
is
not
going
about
to change
Look
the
at the plan.
character of our town.
I seen the plan.
It's only 3.
Yeah.
3 stories.
It was 3, but they asked for an amended plan. They put an amendment in.
They did?
It's gonna be a 6-story building.
No way.
Well, we'll
I'm guessing.
wait
I'm just
and
guessing.
see.
No, it's gonna be a 6-story building. Look at the new plan.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, the one of the comments
2
that
weeks
I've
ago.
made,
Really?
Yeah.
the one comment that I made when we were going through this zoning change
Mm-hmm.
is, what do we want to do? Become Rantoul Street in Beverly?
Yeah. Can't see
That's
the
what
sun.
it is. It's a wind tunnel now.
Yeah. Can't see the sun. There's no sun. Where's
That's
the sun?
right.
Don't know if it's day or night.
All right. Our 4th candidate is Michael Bean, and he's a local. He's a former police officer in the town of Danvers.
23 years service.
That's right, and he has been active in our community. He has not politically been outspoken yet,
No.
but he needs to step up, and I think he does carry a message that we care about this town and we care about the culture and the environment that we have had for 300 years, basically.
And he
because
brings a lot of
Danvers-
common sense. A lot of common sense. That's what you need here. A lot of the common sense is being left behind. That's the problem.
Put 8 kids through the schools. Owns a business in
Right.
town here.
That's
you know,
right.
so he's a Danvers regular. I mean,
And he's watching out for the town. His best interest is for what's
Well,
going on in this town, as far as
Falcon
I'm concerned.
pride.
You know?
He has also, Michael Bean advanced from the Republican primary for the 13th Essex District, securing 52.5% of the votes for a total numerous write-in votes. There were no incumbents at this particular election. Although Michael Bean faces challenges, his participation in the electoral process reflects his commitment to public service. And I have had a discussion with many of the town hall employees because they claim that their employment is part of public service. No, it's not anymore. They are being paid and are treated as public employees, but they're paid and treated as private employees because their salaries are no longer down into the bottom of the pay scale. They have various instruments for retirement, health care, and everything else is included when you look at the total picture of what the employees get in this town. It's a very secure position.
No, it definitely is. No question in my mind. It's 80% of their pay they get, if I'm not mistaken, right?
So I have been
Depends.
Yeah, depends.
Yeah.
every year I have been asking the town finance director to provide to me a list of the 100 highest paid employees every year.
Did you get that yet?
I got it.
All right.
But the thing is, the newspapers, they don't want anything to do with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to present that in our next few shows,
Okay.
because I've also asked for a list of the directors of our town, and we have right now managers, directors, 27. And they are worth, just in salaries, over $4 million.
Now, was that through all the departments, water and electric, or
Oh,
was that
yeah.
separate?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just curious. I don't
It's all inclusive. So, what I like to do is let's show the Mike Bean vote Mike Bean Select Board on Tuesday, May 7th, and it's just a little synopsis of what Mike has been doing. And he has been a contributor to the show. He has his own show on cable. So we thought this would be something that we want to, present
Yes,
to the general public.
I agree.
Hi, I'm Mike Bean, your candidate for Danvers Select Board, lifelong Danvers resident. 22 years veteran of the Danvers Police Department, self-employed construction contractor, community husband, committed, not community husband, committed
hey,
husband.
lucky guy.
Oh, Michael, you are a lucky
He's in trouble
guy.
now.
Committed husband to Katie and father of 8 children.
Wow.
Now, there's some pictures of some of the kids and Katie. Coached Danvers Farm League baseball, basketball in the 90s, regular financial sponsor, and active supporter. Career day guest speaker at the Danvers Junior High for 5 years. Now, this is an accomplishment in itself because I have been trying to get contributors from our professional organizations to contribute to the junior high. They have a day where they talk about careers and
Okay.
everything else.
Start
So,
the kids off young, you know.
Mike has done that. Okay, I think that's what we're going to do. But what we have put together is we have a list. We have a Owen, if we can show the next slide clip.
Okay. This,
There's a clip, and what we have done, what has been done, is there's a list of all the
write-ins and stuff. Now,
well,
you wrote that in. There's not on there, right? It's not. It's not.
no,
advertised
no,
on there.
no, it's not on. These are blank ballots
Okay.
that we have received from our town clerk, but we have taken the ballots, and if you look at this one here, this one is more for the town meeting members, but it's the first one
Yeah,
is
school committee
for
too.
the school committee, the select board, school committee, and precinct 1, 2, 3, 4, and the library trustees. So we have selected some of the school committee. There's a write-in for that one, and it's for William
San Franca,
Cianfrocca,
100 Burley
and
Street.
100
100 Burley Street.
Burley Street.
Yes.
And that one is a selected one because he volunteered to fill that seat
Really.
because he feels that the school committee needs a challenging election instead of a walk-in election of the 2 individuals.
And he's not too happy the way this town's going, as far
That's
as I'm
right.
concerned. I know that for a fact. I'm talking to
Michael
him.
Shannon is a candidate, and Sean Doherty was a candidate.
Do you know any of these folks? Have
We
you met
don't
them
know very much about them.
before? Yeah, I don't. Never.
Now, for the select board, I went through the internet and tried to search information. There's a lot of information on the 2 seats, on the 2 seats. Library trustees, we have Caroline Pamakas and Dana Hagan that are
Yep.
recommended to be voted in
Right.
because they reflect the community issues.
Caroline is a wonderful, wonderful person. Wonderful
And
person.
she's the one that I've been doing the reading to the children at the library, and I've produced those shows, and she has done a great job. So now
How
we
many?
have
How many are there at the library? Do you know? I'm just curious.
library. I
Yeah.
think there's 9.
9 altogether. Okay.
Right.
So what
And
do they meet? Once a month or something? No, I'm just
They
curious.
meet once a
I
month,
don't even know. I mean,
and they basically set policy. The town manager runs the library basically through the director that they've hired.
okay.
So the others write-ins are for precinct 5, Charlotte Prisco,
That's my precinct.
and she's at 3 Sheffield Road.
Sheffield. Okay.
And then we have another one on precinct 8, which has 2, 4, 6 candidates, but there are seats that are open that have not been identified during the signature time.
Wow.
Denise Page, she's at 100 Newbury Street. She wants to participate. And of all people in the world,
Mark Zuberek.
there's a open 2-year seat in Precinct 7, and I would graciously ask for your participation by writing in Mark Zuberek at 9 Glendale Drive.
And that's what, Precinct 7?
That's Precinct 7.
Okay,
correct.
so we got to tell everybody in Precinct 7, get out and vote for Mark Zuberek.
Yeah, and Denise is another great person.
Yes.
A hot ticket, and you'll have a belly laugh with her. She's a fun person to talk with, and she's a good people.
Listen, we got to
She's
thank
good
all these
people.
people, too. All these people are volunteers, really. They need a lot of, stuff like that, really. You know what I mean? We're very lucky. This town doesn't know how lucky they are to have all these volunteers that they have. You know?
That's right.
So I'm running in, PBD, Beverly, Danvers, and Salem. Danvers has put together a field of candidates this year. Like this is my second go around for running for office, and it's quite.
How many people are running? Do you know?
You just
Where
saw the
is
list.
that? Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about the
Yeah.
town
Okay.
meeting, yes.
I was talking about you
Oh,
running.
no, just me. It's going to be me. I'm the only Republican candidate, and Joan Lovely,
Okay, I was just
I
curious.
think, has a Democrat primary.
Okay, I wasn't sure. That's why I was just wondering. I was just curious.
Okay, Owen, would you just throw up a copy of Mike Bean's sign, and that will complete our recommendations to the electorate. Michael Bean has his own sign. He's got the orange that's all over town. And there you go. There's the orange sign, and we've seen those everywhere. But this was taken by me on Saturday,
yeah, I did see.
2 weeks ago.
I saw the people up there.
Right,
I moved
and
along.
that's his wife Katie and some relatives, and that was a good turnout.
Yes, very
And
good
we
turnout.
need
You
to
noticed that?
make this weekend turnout and the following weekend, because those are the only 2 days left in our calendar.
Right. I agree
So,
with that.
what we have is what we got. The next item, what I want to do is briefly, and I'm going to skip this one because I think we've given it a lot of time, because it's the trash tax debate.
No one wants to
and-
hear it. They don't even want to talk about it.
And I have a warrant article.
They want us to go away.
Citizens petition on the town meeting agenda. And then we have legal counsel opinions from the past. And this is a tax. I don't care what they call it.
I know, and they think it's about the $200. It's not about the $200. It's just that what are they going to sneak in next?
Well, that's right. And well, they've been sneaking in fees all
Little
over
ones
the
here and there.
place.
$200. I mean, it's not $200 a lot of money, but it makes a big difference for people that are renting and stuff like that. They're going to go up on. I'm telling you,
the
they're not
issue-
helping the situation. If we want a good town and we want to bring prices down and help people and help them live here instead of chasing them out, we got to change.
So I have provided a solution to the town, and one of the things, Owen, if we can throw up my defund the town management
Defund the trash.
to fund the trash tax. See, this is that. Well, we've been calling this trash fee as the Trask
I
tax
swear to God, he's the
anyway.
one that brought it up. Don't let anybody kid you.
Fund trash tax costs and save taxes. No new taxes, please.
Yes, exactly.
This is a 2.5 override in disguise of legislative action that have happened in the state legislature, because they are the ones that are permitting this to happen.
The town has to find a new funding source to give us a break, okay? The residents can't take it anymore, okay? They have to. I don't know what they got to do, but it's not up to us to figure it out. They get paid the big bucks. They got to figure it out.
I was down in South Carolina, and when I was living down there for a short period, there was a 1 cent tax added on The guy took it all the way through the courts, all the way to the Supreme Court at the Supreme Court of South Carolina, and he won his case for the 1 cent. He said they're going to get their toe in the door, and then you won't be able to ever shut that door again.
And this is what has happened in this state.
1 cent.
Yep.
He said it's just the beginning.
The 2.5 has been controlling the increases in the real estate tax because of Barbara Anderson, basically back in the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
Then now she's gone and her partner is gone, so the state legislature is allowing these hidden taxes that are permitted by state law, and that's where the town manager went and dug it up. Now, one of the comments that he's made in the last Finance Committee meeting is this has been discussed for 20 years, and every town manager, starting with Wayne Markey, has always had at the end of his letter presenting the budget that the town trash fee is being considered but is not being implemented now. But they went through and got the legislative permission. So, enough about this. I mean, this is going to be discussed at the town meeting, and hopefully with my access, I don't really need access as a town meeting member because I can go and speak to it as a citizen of Danvers.
You think you can?
But you heard what they said too. It didn't really strike me funny that town meeting doesn't mean anything. That's what they said. Remember, because the select board put it on. I mean, but we never really got a vote from town meeting. We did get a vote, but I don't think it was the right vote. I think we should have had a roll call vote to get a real opinion on what it was. But they still don't want to do it. Okay, even with this thing here, they don't want to do it.
See, the way that original special town meeting was worded was deficient in a town meeting action, because what happened is the finance committee basically negated that whole issue by having a no action vote.
Right, but they always do no action.
And the thing is that they were expecting a amendment to that, and even Pat mentioned that as well. But that's you know what? Every article that is presented to the town meeting is written and orchestrated by the town manager. And the thing is, with my 4 articles that I presented, I wanted to make them very simple, not complicated, not legalese, because that's not how I operate. And the thing is that the town hall, in their wisdom, did not even print my explanation that they have for every single one of their warrant articles, because they didn't want my articles to be even considered. But they're going to town meeting. I don't care how, but they're going to get there.
Exactly. I agree with that. But I mean, you can see
now, Mike Bean.
But what's terrible is you can see it. I mean, it's sad because if they want it to pass, they'll help you out and they'll get it squared away. Okay?
Yes.
Right? But if they don't want it, that's it. It's not going anywhere. Just like the poor kid with the recall petition.
Right.
Okay? Second time. They're still giving him a hard time. Okay? I don't think it's a big deal.
This is the 3rd year of it, because it was originally done as a introduction, and then he did a lot of work last year.
Right.
And this year he did even more work on it, and he submitted it. They don't want it.
No, they don't. That's it. It's sad. The kid's doing his work. He's trying to help the town. I mean, so we should encourage him and help him out and have a vote on it and see what happens from there. That's the way it should be, the right way.
The issue that we have in front of us is more important because other towns are having override votes.
Yes, I did see that too.
Westford is one that's very close to us.
Yes.
And they are trying to prevent 2.5 override in their town, and they're going through the motions.
That's what I keep saying. We need our town officials to wake up and find a different source of income to help the town out. I don't know what it is. I really don't, okay? I know that a lot of things they're not good at. Remember, we had a hospital, we had a landfill. We don't have them anymore, okay? So we couldn't run them.
If they need a tax, let's put it on the table, and that's what it's going to be.
And with all these buildings going up, you figure there'd be enough money coming in here and there, but it doesn't seem like it. Seems like they always need more.
They're losing money now because they're demolished. There's no value to them.
Until it comes back up.
Okay.
Again.
Owen, please put up our guest, Damien Anketel. He is the candidate for the Senate in the state of Massachusetts. And I hate to even say this, but this is the Joan Lovely position that's being currently, who is an incumbent. And how many years has she been in? 12 years?
She got elected in 2012.
So it's 12 years.
Yep.
And here we have, go and do your speech.
All right. Well, so this is my second time running. The first time I ran, I was a quiet candidate, not for any reason of my own. I tried to be as loud as I could. Joan denied my request to have a debate. Salem News refused to hold a debate. I've known Joan for a very long time. I used to deliver her newspapers. Her and I, she's older than me. So her and I grew up, and we actually ran into each other again. We did our 4 years at Salem State College together. I went back to school after doing some service at the Essex County Sheriff's Department. She was her kids were getting older and out of the house, so she went back to school herself. So we kind of met at Salem State. We were in the same program, so we had every single class together. So we did a lot of time for 4 years. And, she served this community for a long period of time. She was a city committee member. But now she's, a lot of the stuff that she's doing now, I really feel strongly against. First of all, the illegal immigration driver's licenses for the last election was really important. But now what we're seeing, and I'll say that this is kind of the carrying point for everything from public safety, housing costs, increase in taxes, everything that we can think of, the school systems eroding, family values eroding, and that's the illegal immigration issue that we have in this state right now.
It has become very evident in the last 12 months, probably, where the governor herself introduced this old bill, basically, old law, that houses the immigrants. Illegal immigrants are not homeless like we should be treating our own homeless.
Well, that's the problem.
As well
We're
as
not even
the
taking care of our own
illegal
residents. So that's sad.
I mean, we have veterans. We have, almost, in my district, PV Beverly Salem, we have almost 200 homeless veterans who don't have homes. We have seniors, elderly people who are struggling with housing-related issues. And these people got no relief from the state government. They got no relief from their elected officials. But when these illegal immigrants stepped into the situation where they are in now, getting bused from down from south to this side of the border, getting flown in from their point of origins, their country origins, into this country, into Boston and into Manchester, they got put on a line ahead of everybody else that's been waiting years. I've known senior citizens who've been waiting 4 years for their housing, and they haven't been able to receive it. And that, to me, is so unfair. It's even worse than that, but we're live on television, so I'm not going to say what I really like. How vigorously and adamantly angry I am about it.
It's true, but it's a big problem. That's the problem. It's not even just state; it's federal. I mean, it's a big problem.
Yeah,
that's
well,
right.
I can't fix the federal thing. I'm
No,
not.
that's what I'm saying.
But
But you got to start somewhere.
I think that we should do a couple things. There's a lot of stuff that we can do. First of all, we need to unsubsidize these people. So from the federal government, they're getting $2,500 a month. Right now, there's a plan for them to get another $1,200 to $1,500 a month.
Don't tell me
per
these things,
person
please. It
from
makes
the
me
state,
sick.
on top of it from the state. There's also a piece of legislation that's, I mean, you all heard that they just passed another bill for $250,000, but that's only going to take us to the end of this month. By the end of June, July, they're expecting it's going to cost $350 to $400 million a month to handle the illegal immigration issue. On top of that, right now they're hiring a bunch of counselors to go into these housing units where these people are being housed at, and they're going to allow them to they're going to teach them what the services and benefits of being an American citizen is. And what they're going to do is they're going to present an option for the kids to go to the schools, Salem, Peabody, Beverly, Danvers, and that's just my district. That's why I'm speaking of that. But Danvers just got 7 kids put into the music program, non-speaking, English speaking, and they were put into the music program because they can't communicate with teachers to learn anything. So they're just housed there basically during the day. So what they're planning on doing is to move. And there's an expectation that Danvers is going to get about 100 to 125 new students next year that are legal immigrants put into the school. And the state is putting forth a...
You sure that's the right figures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have over 100 families that are living in our community.
Might be more.
Yeah. We don't
just
know.
And you already probably have 30 in there now. So each one of those kids costs about $14,000 to $15,000 a year to educate. So that's a couple $1 million. But with that said, they're going to give the U.S. citizens' families the option, a voluntary option for their students to stay home next year and do virtual education. If they do not, they're discussing right now, if they do not get enough volunteers for that they're going to mandate that American students stay home and get virtual education while these illegal immigrant students get to go to the schools that we pay for.
Wait, where'd you get this information from?
I have friends that work in this work.
Are you serious?
Literally, yeah. I've said this on other television shows. I've said it to newspapers, and nobody's even
That's what I'm saying.
said.
I mean, I'm not
nobody
being
did-
funny. I'm just
Nobody wants to bite.
No, not one person denied it, and it's not denied. And I know that they hear about our certain other shows that I'm on, and they have made plans to mitigate what I'm getting. the information I'm getting.
Damien, our education system in this town, let's say, because that's all I'm going to be talking about, because I want to concentrate on Danvers, is not being run by the town or the school committee or even the parents. It is being run by Department of Education in the state of Massachusetts.
It is.
They are dictating every curriculum, every issue that comes up. I have asked for the curriculum for each one of the English, reading and writing, math, science, and now that I've asked for the curriculum that is being dictated by DESE again, Department of Secondary Education, of sex education. That is a new one that they just passed. I have talked to the superintendent, not to the superintendent, but to the principals, and they have not provided that or even the previous year's guidelines. So the school committee, no wonder nobody wants to run, and our two members, Robin Doherty and Alice Campbell, have basically walked away from the
I
school
think that's what
committee
happened, yeah.
because they cannot do anything. And now I'm sort of thankful that I was not elected, because that's when Robin and Alice were elected. And the thing is, they can't do a damn thing.
Well, they can try to do something, but need a 3-2 vote. That's the problem. You don't have it, if I'm not mistaken.
The vote doesn't
the vote is
matter. They still have to go by the legal there's a 300.
Why do we have a school committee then? Isn't it to watch, oversee what's happening?
No, the school committee, all it does is
Okay stuff?
provide the funding, because they funnel the funding from the town manager to the school committee, and the town manager is helpless, and he is an instigator to making the funds available. So that's part of the problem.
Well, yeah, I know, but
But the thing is, let me ask.
I'm not being funny. I'm
let
just
me
asking
ask
so I can learn.
Let me ask a question. You running for the state senate, the legislative body of the state, how do you think that you can influence that?
Well, first of all, you have to decouple funding from actual curriculum. So there's actually a requirement that if you take money from the state takes money from the federal government. The federal government says these are the curriculums that you need to teach if this money goes into the state, into a school system.
Right.
So the state takes that money and moves it down and says, if you take this money, you need to be able to do that. And the state legislature has allowed for that to happen. And what you need to do is set legislation that allows a decoupling from that. You need to get out of the core curriculum crap that they have going on in the school systems and go back to the basics. Right? I'll even give you an example just recently. I've gone out and collected signatures to get onto the ballot, which I have collected enough signatures. I am going to be on the ballot. I just got to drop off my stuff at the State House. We have until the 28th to collect all, the 30th, to collect all the signatures that we need and drop them off at the city. I have already done that. So the fact of the matter is that when I went to get the signature sheets, you used to have to sign it. Now they tell you
Print
either
it.
they can print it if they don't know how to sign. That's how diminished that our population's education levels have become, that they can't even sign their own name. Children these days don't know how to read cursive.
They can't give change.
Can't give change. That is another thing that has happened. So we need to decouple ourselves from the core curriculum, allow the school systems to be able to step up. In this city, and in the town, sorry, I keep calling Danvers the city. In the town of Danvers.
We're almost there.
Yeah, you're almost there. The town of Danvers, your town administrator, manager, has said that he wants to limit the amount of students that go to the vocation school, to the Voc, because he thinks it's too costly, because too many students go there. Well, I say, make your school systems better so that you have a competition to stop the kids from wanting to go there. They want to go there because they're going to make a living coming out of that school. They're going to get out of high school and be able to go to work and make $40,000, $60,000 a year as an 18-year-old. When they're coming out of here, if they're lucky, they get to go to Salem State College, get a nice education for short dollars, but it's still $35,000 a year to go to a state school.
Yep.
But if they go to another school, let's say Rhode Island, they go down to Rhode Island, they're going to have to pay $90,000 a year.
And probably out of state tuition,
and
too.
Then, pay out of state tuition. They're going to have this huge debt when they're done. So why would you want to go to Danvers High School, which my sister-in-law is a teacher there, so good for them, and my old roommate.
You know too much about it.
So they are excellent teachers. You guys got a great teachers group over there, and they should take advantage of them and just get the curriculum restrictions off of their back and let them teach the way that they need to teach their students. They have students that have no consequences. If you have bad students, so in legislations for back to schools, you can't throw kids out of school.
Right.
There's no expulsions anymore. There's no suspensions or very limited suspensions. Excuse me. So you need to eliminate those restrictions on discipline for those students. You need a principal that has stones that can go in there, whether he or she can get in there and just clear house, say, okay, you're getting in fights, you're drinking in school, you're doing drugs in school, you're a problem, you're not, get out. And, sorry for the parents, but teach your kids some manners and start to take control of your family, and then your kids can come back to school.
We got to bring back some old things. Like when we went to school, I don't know about you when you went to school, but if you got in trouble, you went down, you got the red hand. I don't know if you ever remember that.
I didn't get the red hand. I got a boot in the butt, though, one time.
From your parents, right?
I told my mother. No, from my teacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told my mother. I said, I was screwing around in the hallway. He kicked me in the butt. And she goes, it's because I told her that he hit me. And first of all, my mother said, you're an idiot, smacked me, punished me for a week, and then ran to the school and said, don't you ever put your hands on my kid again. So my mother took his side for a second, said, you screwed up, but there are lines that teachers can't
Well, that's
cross.
the thing I'm saying.
But-
Today, it's everybody's, their hands are tied in a
Yeah.
way. It's ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm not saying we got to punish people or beat them. No, you don't. But, I mean, we have to bring something back.
Gentlemen,
Something's
You need
lost.
discipline.
I think we've beat this to death, and the thing is that I am
apologize.
going to concentrate on the education in the town of Danvers because that's the promise I made last year. Owen, if you can throw up my Tasmanian devil, will sort of wrap up what we have been talking about, and I want to give you an opportunity for closing comments and I wish you luck on the election because
Thank you.
that's a sequence that's going to happen in the next few months. I miss the good old days, remember, when you could actually have an opinion without offending somebody. And that is so true. And Damien, go on. Let's get your final comments.
Well, Danvers, thank you for having me. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. So, first of all, I really wish that you get out there on the 7th of May and get out and vote for the local candidates because that is really something that creates a pattern of behavior for people to get out and vote for good candidates. And I believe that I'm a good candidate. I'm a person who worked in Essex County Sheriff's Department. I worked for the Attorney General's Office, Internet Crimes Against Children. I was a probation parole officer. But I really hope that you can get out there, support your candidates, whoever they are, and I appreciate it. And just so you know, Tony, I think me and Mike Bean might have came up with a solution. Might not be the end-all solution, but to the airport problem. But I'm out of time. I'll talk to you next time.
We'll pick up on the Beverly Airport. There's a meeting tonight, as a matter of fact,
Yes, the Conservation
to
Commission.
review the hangar proposals. And Tony, find 10 seconds.
10
That's all you
seconds.
got.
All I got to say is, I love this town. We got to straighten it out.
Go Danvers.
Thank you very much, and hope to see you. I think May 9th is the next time.